Hey everybody, in today's video I want to discuss the idea of lead magnets. Many software houses can't see the benefit of cold outreach or some sort of outbound sales because they tend to perceive it as this transactional thing where you reach out, you book a call, and maybe you get some chance to qualify lead and move them further into the deal or some pipeline. However, a lot of times this is not what happens, and as you know, this whole industry is based on relationships, networks, recommendations, and referrals. One thing is that in today's world, with more automation, more tools, more things, any outreach, any sales is becoming more difficult because you have more people doing the same thing, more people copying the same templates, and basically just saturating the market, as you probably know. So how do you really stand out? And this is what we do with the agency, but I just want to share with you some ideas that you can implement in your company. So one way is to look at the case studies and sort of have some specific campaigns around industries or maybe your background or something that makes you different than other companies. It doesn't really have to be just your industries. It can be a tech stack, it can be even your ethnic background, anything like that. However, what is the lead magnet? What's the idea of the lead magnet? We tend to recommend this to clients who have sort of bigger budgets, but it's not really that difficult to pull off, and I've been using it in all the companies and I was part of, and also for my own company. And basically it's the simple idea that you put some offer before the actual sales call so that the person perceives it as value exchange, so they get some value out of the meeting. So I'm sure you've heard of many ideas like that, but things like ebooks, reports, case studies, these are very low value things and they require effort from the other person to go ahead and learn or read about it and stuff like that. What is more easier to do is to come up with a lead magnet. Now this can be anything, but let's take, for example, podcast interviews. We produce them for some of our clients. I also host a lot of them and did in the past, and they helped me tremendously in my business. A podcast interview is quite simple. You set up a lead magnet where you host an interview with different people, and the leads, you invite the people that you want to work with as leads on the show. It's basically a value exchange where you can pre-qualify them or qualify them on the actual interview and ask them the questions that you would have to ask them still. A lot of them actually go into the sales cycle. Not everybody's gonna have a project right there, but you have to look at it as long-term relationship building. So I closed deals with the podcast guests 9-10 months after the show, but I had a reason to follow up, and I had a long line of follow-ups and basically ability, because I built a friendship with those people because we spent some time together on Zoom or something like that. So that's how you have to look at it. And these lead magnets help to extend that network and bring you to those people who you probably never get exposure to, like the VCs, the really big CTOs and stuff like that. It's just they don't give you projects straight up. So you use it as an opportunity to get into their network, and when they have a project, they contact you, and that's how you kind of leverage that relationship. Now, another idea can be, for example, if you are a contributor at Forbes, you can create an article where you invite these people and you have them as a lead magnet, where you invite them for the interview at Forbes and you feature them on your next article. You can have many other ideas. For example, a small breakfast in a city. Again, physical presence increasing is kind of speeding up the sales cycle much faster. And you can't really do that with many people, but if 20 people show up to an event like that and you're the host, you're automatically gonna get the perceived value of like somebody who knows something about this space, and you have a reason to follow up and build a network, and etc. etc. I did that in the past with virtual events where I hosted it in the Nordic countries for the banks, where I chose like really top banks in the Nordics region for speaking slots. So I had like 4 speakers, and I used it as a lead magnet to attract other banks, and I was the host. So you can do it in person, you can do it virtual. All of this requires preparation and some budget, but it is not that complicated. I'm telling you, if you implement just one lead magnet in your company, it will help you dramatically, because the response rate on those lead magnets is about 40-35%, and it's highly positive because they don't see it as something that you're trying to sell. And that's why when people say cold outreach doesn't work, cold email doesn't work, I'm like, really? Because I'm using cold email all the time and it works perfectly for everything. It's just I have great lead magnets and I have great offerings. So that's why it makes sense. So it's just, you have to think of it this way. It doesn't work if you go and email people about your software development experience and offshoring and outsourcing them. That's not going to work. That's something that I'm seeing a lot in this industry that people don't do. And that's why their campaigns don't work. That's why their sales is struggling, because they are not able to come up with these ideas, because they're missing some sort of creative thinking. It's not a sales thinking, it's a branding thing. This is a marketing thing. But the marketers in this space have troubles because they don't understand their customer profile. So it goes back to actually having a good understanding of what you're selling and how you're selling it and who is the target audience, because you cannot do this for everybody. You cannot have a lead magnet that covers everything. It can cover just a portion of your customer base or a portion of your potential leads. So it's good to spend some time on reviewing your actual portfolio and seeing where you want to move in the future, and then decide on the lead magnet. So there's a flow of action. So first you look at the portfolio, then you discuss how much budget you can spend and dedicate to these activities, and who's going to do what, because you probably don't have a salesperson, or if you do, they're busy selling, they don't have time for this. So somebody has to execute these ideas, So it's quite a challenge, but it's actually quite simple at the same time. So hopefully it makes sense. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll be posting once a week. All right. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Maybe I can answer them. See you.